Okay guys, so in my last video I talked about how the gyms here in the UK unfortunately will not be reopening on the 4th of July, as many of us, myself included, had eagerly anticipated would be the case. But unfortunately the other day the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson dashed those hopes. However, I have been hearing, and from other YouTubers and from some other people who I know that work on the inside of the fitness industry, that perhaps on just towards the middle of July, around the 13th or the 15th of July, that we could see gyms here in the UK being reopened. Again, that is basically down to the government and what they think, because of course they do tend to have the final, well, not tend to, but they do have the final say on things, on what's been happening in the current pandemic crisis. And even though really, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm concerned, the way we've handled the pandemic here in the UK has been a complete joke, really. I mean, you have just, I'm not gonna get into all of that, but here in this country, we are notorious for always guessing wrong. Obvious decisions and obvious actions to be taken that we just don't do. We just do the complete opposite of all the time. But yeah, I have been hearing that around the middle of July, 13th or the 15th of July, potentially the gyms could reopen. And again, that is down to the government and what they think, as they keep on saying, we are following the science, and based on what the science is telling us, we are taking this action, that action. And, based on the last decision that they've made, that I'm not sure if they follow the science at all, because a gym, in comparison to a place such as a pub or restaurant, I think there's a higher likelihood of people catching the virus in an environment such as a pub or a restaurant. There's going to be lots of people around, despite the measures they're claiming that they're going to have in place, the 2 meter social distancing thing. People are going to be in there drinking, drinking, eating and enjoying themselves and having a conversation. Whilst you're consuming all that alcohol and food, you're enjoying the conversation. That social distancing, as I mentioned in my last video, that goes out the window completely, and you kind of forget about any rules and regulations that's been put in place supposedly for your safety. Most people go to a place such as pub and restaurant with people who they know, for friends, most of the time, for a good time, to enjoy themselves. But if you're going to the gym, it is for a good time, but it's more or less you're going there to make sure that you use your time constructively to get a good workout in, to benefit your health and for your mental health as well. And in the gym, I think there's a lesser likelihood of people catching the virus. I mean, people, I'm sure, we asked to wear masks. And I didn't mention this in my last video, but in the gym, of course, they've got a HVAC system, the heating and ventilation, air conditioning system, which is consistently pumping in clean air, filtering it, and removing any of the hot air that's been in the building for some time. Basically, the air's always been circulated. Any old air, warm air, is flushed out, pumped out of the building into the outside atmosphere, and clean and purified air is sent back into the building. So the air is always being clean. And pubs and restaurants, I'm sure many of them don't have. Well, they may have a similar system, but I'm sure it will not be working on the same scale as the same thing you'd find in the gym. So yeah, I wanted to make that point, which is something I would have mentioned in my other video. So yeah, I just want to put that out there, that potentially the gyms here in the UK could potentially open on the 13th or the 15th of July. But fingers crossed that will be the case. Things can change, and our government is known for flip-flopping on any decisions that they make all the time. Unfortunately, here we are notorious for that. So guys, if you had anything different, please if you had anything different, please leave it in the comment section below. And yeah, if you did like this video, please do leave a like, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.